Alright, so I just finished setting up a pre-planned CAS flight of 416 Block 40s. We're going to try and hit some mechanized infantry in this area. This is day 9 of my rolling fire campaign. It's pretty much over. We're advancing on Wonsan and on Pyongyang. If you look at the intel tab, the enemy air forces are essentially defeated. Ground power is also waning, and we're just pounding the defenders at this point. I just did a couple of flights in this area, and I'm gonna try and strike here next. We are armed with 6 Maverick-Ds. I'm also carrying a lantern, a nav pod 4 terrain following radar. Although this is pretty flat terrain, so we're not gonna use that most likely. And I've got... yeah, actually I need to update my target set points. So since we are using Mavericks, I'm going to recon and set a set point on a friendly target here. We're gonna choose this helipad as our Maverick Boresight target. And then heading back here, we are going up to the 4th Mechanized Battalion, and we're going to go, why not, after this BMP-1. He will likely have moved by the time we get there, but we should see him on the FCR in the general area. Target set points look fine now. If we check the weather in the briefing, 8,000 foot cloud base at target, that's pretty good actually. Bad weather at takeoff and landing, but as long as we have okay weather at the target. Alright, so we're gonna set a few things up here. Radar altimeter on, and we'll turn on our flare display. And we are going to do a course alignment on our helmet mounted display. I think that's pretty good. Alright, and let's request takeoff.
Spade 4, 4-ship, F-16s, ready for departure. Spade 4, Osan Tower, weight 040 at 1 knots, runway 09 arrived. You're cleared for takeoff.
And start warming up our Mavericks. This is the first campaign mission, which I am recording upscaled to 4K for my VR mirror. So far, performance is pretty good, and hopefully I get some good footage out of this.
Magic 3-1, sunrise.
Now, because we are not joining up with an escort flight or a seed flight, we are going straight to set point 15.
3, airborne.
That is our Boresight set point on a friendly helipad. Normally,
4, airborne.
especially early on in the campaign, you would have an escort flight, you would have possibly seed joining up with you, so it would be important to follow your scheduled arrival at waypoints. In this case, it doesn't really matter.
Spade 4-3,
We
on
just
my way.
want to get on target as quickly as reasonably possible. Performance is still good. Happy to see that.
Spade 4-4, on my way.
And I'm going to level off here and do a fine alignment now that I'm airborne on the helmet mounted queuing system. go back to nav mode to do that.
Caution. Caution.
That's inlet icing, nothing to worry about. That should be pretty good.
2. In position.
Let's turn on our data link.
Magic 3, Spade 4-1. Request vector to threat. Spade 4, Magic 3. I don't have anything.
And we can see our wingmen now are showing up on the HSD via data link. Very low cloud, so even though we are 15 miles away from our boresight target set point, still can't see the buildings. There we go. That's boresighting done. Was a little bit tricky to get a lock, partially because of the low cloud, but now we're gonna power off our Mavericks, dim our lights, proceed to set point 16. Now our target is right on the front line, so the plan will be to basically fire off Mavericks in pairs, and with each pair extend back south to safety while flaring. And I will likely have my wingman fire their Mavericks after I'm done all 6 of mine, so I'll have them hold their fire. That way we make sure we're not overlapping targets. 30 miles out, we're going to power on our Mavericks. And at this point, I think we're gonna gain a little bit of altitude. I think there might be some terrain between the target and myself, which is masking ground vehicles likely. Most likely threats are going to be MAMPADs, short-range IR SAMs like the SA-9, SA-13. Oh, there's a contact. That might be the town. And anti-aircraft artillery. As I mentioned at the beginning, I don't expect any aircraft or any long-range radar-guided SAMs, anything like that. We are going to be approaching from friendly lines, and the target is just past the front line there. Alright, got some targets. Those look like enemy IFVs. And we are in range. Gonna wait for handoff to my Maverick. Okay, let's just do this manually on the Maverick.
Rifle.
Getting very close now, but try to get the second one off. And rifle.
Rifle.
Chaff. Flare. Chaff. Flare.
Extending south, diving to the deck.
Altitude. Altitude. Chaff. Flare. Chaff. Flare.
You can see why the flare is very
Altitude.
handy in these conditions. It's very dark here and it's very hard to see the terrain otherwise. Okay, we probably have enough separation now. I'm going to turn back in. We're just out of Maverick range from my last target at this altitude. And looks like both targets hit. Both targets were hit, rather. There's another one. I don't know why it's taking so long to hand off, but I'm not going to wait around for that. Just going to manually lock the Maverick. If I can. There we go. It eventually did it.
Rifle.
I'm going to turn off.
Chaff. Flare.
Uncomfortably close to that.
Chaff. Flare. Altitude. Altitude.
And once again we extend. The nice thing about this terrain is it also makes it very difficult for man pads on the other side of it to target us. Turning back in. I don't think that last Maverick hit, unfortunately. Let's try to make this a good one.
Rifle. Rifle.
Chaff. Flare. Chaff. Flare. Low. Altitude. Altitude.
Got one
Altitude.
Maverick left.
Altitude. Altitude. Altitude.
And then we'll get our wingmen to join in on the fun. If this was more of a protected area, I would have them all go weapons free as soon as they got here, but since we're not going to get jumped by any aircraft and there are no serious air defenses to speak of, we can loiter. As long as we take care of man paths. Turning back in. Okay, that last target was hit. Okay, looks like we've got 4 hits for 5 launches so far. I'm gonna go for that BTR too. Sometimes they have anti-tank weapons.
Rifle.
Worth taking out.
Chaff. Flare.
That's all
Low.
my Mavericks.
Chaff. Flare. Out.
Spade. 4. Weapons free.
2. Wilco.
3. Wilco. 4. Wilco.
Right.
Altitude. Altitude.
Spade
Altitude.
4-4, on my way. Rifle.
Okay, so my wingmen are just finishing up their last attack runs and some of them are already rejoining.
3, out.
Can faintly see some fires from their targets over there. They attacked a separate group than I did.
Spade 4-4. 2, radar. 2, heat. Fuel state 7-5.
Might as well use our
Spade
TFR on the way
4-2.
home.
On my way.
Gonna have to make sure we keep our speed above 360.
Spade 4-3, on my way.
And it'll kick in and pitch us up if we get to this 500-foot threshold. According to radar altimeter, we're actually going to see it work right now here. I see a hill ahead of us. At least I think it's going to meet the threshold. Yeah, there it goes. This is not me pitching up. The plane is doing this all on its own. Because we did some maneuvering, I'm going to quickly do some in-flight INS alignments. You can see that happening there. And it's done. Back to nav.
Spade 4-1, Osan Tower, Wayne 040 at 1 knots, runway 09 or left, clear for landing, jet gear down. Spade 4-3, Osan Tower, continue inbound for runway 09 or left. Spade 4-4, final approach. Spade 4-4, Osan Tower, continue inbound for runway 09 or left.
So this campaign I'm flying is set in the early 2000s.
Spade 4-2, Osan Tower, Wayne 040 at 2 knots, runway 09 or left, clear for landing, jet gear down.
After it is done, hopefully soon, I'm gonna try the LTKO mod, I believe it's called, which sets everything to mid-early 80s. That should be interesting. No TGP, no AMRAMs.
Spade 4-4, execute missed approach, clearance cancel, vector 085, contact approach for resequencing. Spade 4-3, Osan Tower, Wayne 040 at 2 knots.
Alright, so a pretty successful mission. Looks like I've got 4 IFVs and a BRDM-2. I don't know why I said BTR-2, I knew that was wrong. And my wingman did mostly okay. This guy did really well, even got a Shilka. Nice. Some T-62s in the mix as well. I don't know why that's considered just a partial success, but I'll take it.